very did. And George Rhodes, Lewis Hill, Callum Parkinson, Klein, Will Davis and Gavin Griffiths. And the players are out there, the two umpires are out there, one from each county. Paul Pollard and Nick Cook are the two standing umpires.
Similar weather to that we had at Trembridge last night for the Notts versus Derbyshire game, in that we have got lovely hot sunshine, really blue skies and the floodlights on, but we know why, because obviously it is going to start getting darker as the game goes on, and the floodlights will always take a minute or two to warm up, so it is in the regulations, I think, that they stick them on before the start, and the players just sort of get used to them as the game goes on. So Notts are batting in their gold shirts and green cricket trousers, and in more of a mustardy coloured top. Leicestershire are in the field. I'm going to have to nip next door in just a moment, Rich, to speak to the good folk of BBC Radio Nottingham, but Nash and Hale's out there and will shortly be underway for what is the 9th match in the group. Notts top the group. Leicestershire mathematically, are they there or already at the snooker stage?
Callum Parkinson goes in and bowls to Chris Nash, who is forward a little tentatively, just defending, blocking it out into the offside, out towards Gareth Delaney, who is the man just in front of point. Parkinson in again from the Bennett end. Nash drives, doesn't really time it, runs out towards Ackerman, who is at mid-off on the edge of the circle. Again, there is no run, giving it a little bit of air. Parkinson, good to see. In he goes again, bowls. Nash waits for it and then looks to cut it away, guide it away into the offside. All he can do is pick out the man at short third, who is Gavin Griffiths. So 3 dot balls to start with for Callum Parkinson. Pitch has been used before. In goes Parkinson and bowls. Nash drives and he's got that through nicely. It was too much width from Callum Parkinson. Nash didn't have to put too much weight into the shot, just made sure he picked out the gap in the covers between Delaney and Will Davis. And once you beat the infield on this very fast Grace Road arena, you are going to get 4. And he's going to run away from you. It does look an absolute picture at the moment. In goes Parkinson and bowls much straighter. Nash turns his wrists on a defensive shot, pushes it back up the pitch towards Parkinson, who skips across towards the leg side in front of Hales. Dot ball. Parkinson in again to finish his over. Nash drives and he's caught. Hit it straight back, and it was only about a foot above the ground. Didn't time it at all. Parkinson has taken a wicket in his first over. Chris Nash will be disappointed, desperately disappointed about that. Dave was saying that he was hoping to end his time at Nottinghamshire with a trophy, may yet do so, but he also wants to go out in a little bit of a personal blaze of glory, I'm sure, well, not on this occasion. Hit one very nice 4 through the offside, but Parkinson picked up his man. A nice caught and bowled for the young left armour. They haven't been starting, they had throughout much of last season started with Parkinson in the T20s, but just of late Ackerman has gone to pace, but back to Parkinson, and it has paid off for the Foxes, who have a wicket in the first over. Nash caught and bowled by Parkinson for 4. Alex Hales, surprisingly, yet to score a 50 in this competition for Nottinghamshire this season, and he'd be keen to do that before the quarter-finals. Dieter Klein is going to open the bowling for the Foxes from the pavilion end. Over the wicket he goes and bowls to Hales outside off stump, gives him room, and he accepts it gracefully and gratefully, no doubt, just cuts it away behind point, and no chance for Rhodes diving to his left. It runs under the covers at wide third man. Width really fatal from the bowler's point of view, especially outside off stump to a player as good as Hales. In the power play, when you're 2 men out on the boundary, well, there is a third man, but he's reasonably fine, and the other man out is at deep backward square. So having seen that, Klein is going to go round the wicket to Hales. In he goes, bowls to Hales, a much straighter delivery. Hales covers up, defends it back down the pitch on the onside, rolls to Ackerman at mid-on, and there is no run. Dieter Klein this season in this competition, well, this is his first appearance. He's been 12th man the previous 8 games, essentially. In he goes, the South African, and bowls to Hales, slightly short of a good length. Hales staying on the back foot, drops it down almost at his feet on the onside. Doesn't look to be a massive amount of pace in the pitch. As I say, previously used. Not quite sure which match. Be a little update for BBC Radio Leicester Sport possibly coming up. Klein, 77 on his back, turns. In he goes and bowls full, and it's hit high into the air. It's going to land beyond Ackerman, who turns back from mid-on, gets to it just on the single bounce. It was really high, and thrown back to Klein. Hales picks up a couple. Welcome to listeners to BBC Radio Leicester. The news, as you know, as you've just been told by Adam, that Nottinghamshire are batting, and they've already lost a wicket, that of Chris Nash, who went to the 6th ball of the innings, caught and bowled by Callum Parkinson. Alex Hales, though, England T20 opener of recent times, as he's bowled to by Klein, and he's pulled out to deep square by Hales for a single. He's going nicely. He is now on 7 not out. He's been joined by the in-form Joe Clark. The Nottinghamshire Outlaws have moved on to 11 for 1, coming to the end of just the 2nd over. Klein, not that, bless him, that there's too much of it left, but he's had very much what's left of it cut as short as he possibly can, it seems. In he goes to finish the over, and bowls outside off stump to Joe Clark, who cuts it away down to that fine 3rd man. Didn't get quite all of it. He was a little bit late on it, so has to be content with 1, but a much better over for the Outlaws. As I say, Hales didn't get that one. He lofted over mid-on, and Ackerman wasn't so very far from flinging himself as he ran back to try and get under it. He got to it on a single bounce. Still 8 from the over. Nottinghamshire Outlaws 12 for 1 after 2 overs. Dave Bracegirdle's back alongside. Doesn't look to be a massive amount of pace in the pitch so far. No. The batsmen have just been struggling for a little bit of timing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so I've just returned there, just picking up on your comments of that big blow from Alex Hales. It was crisply sounded off the bat. It seemed as if it was going for a long way, but it just hung up there for a long time, and for a moment I feared for him, but he got away with it. Joe Clark on strike, 3rd over to be bowled by Gavin Griffiths. Clark, Notts' leading run scorer so far in the competition, 275 runs, 1 century and a couple of 50s. First ball sees Clark come down the track charging at him, and then heaving hopefully towards the leg side, but doesn't make contact as it goes through to Lewis Hill. 12 for 1. Been some games this afternoon in the South Group, and the top 3 have all picked up victories, matches that have just finished. Surrey defeating Hampshire, Sussex defeating Middlesex, and Kent getting the better of Essex. So the defending champions Essex are out. They can't make the quarter-final stage. 12 for 1. Next ball sees Clark hit it very crisply indeed over mid-on, and it's gone all the way towards the car park. Big blow from Joe Clark. Minimal backlift really, and for a fella that's, he's not an absolute giant, Joe Clark. He gets enormous power behind these shots. Look how far it's gone. It has gone right up to the car park. Look, as one of the Leicestershire fielders goes and fetches it. Nobody there to throw it back, of course. That was a huge blow, and Clark, that's just his 2nd scoring shot, like Hales has moved on to 7, 18 for 1.
Yeah, I think he picked up the pace of that one okay. Lovely shot. Powerful shot, as you say, wonderfully timed.
Just fell for 16 last night. Was just starting to get going when he fell. Next ball from Griffiths, and again Clark comes and he's punched this into the offside. That's a
who will go to Birmingham for the final place of 4. Full toss is swung away, it's only 1. Oh, they'll get 2, it's a misfield and the Outlaws are through.
You're gone. Bowled him off stump. 5 deliveries from Delaney. Couldn't get off the mark. Sami Patel's got off the mark. It's 6 for 1. There's a slower ball. Mid-off is on the edge. Straight to him. It's Alex Sales. And Leicestershire have been torn apart in this power play.
Looks like a plan that they've spoken about and they've executed really well, especially to Lily. A few quicker balls and a couple of knuckle balls, this one perfect.
Alex Sales, and Leicestershire have been torn apart in this power play.
Looks like a plan that they've spoken about and they've executed really well, especially to Lily. A few quicker balls and a couple of knuckle balls, this one perfect.
Alex Sales, and Leicestershire have been torn apart in this power play.
Looks like a plan that they've spoken about and they've executed
Which he had
really well, especially to Lily. A few quicker balls and a couple of knuckle balls, this one perfect.
Alex Sales, and Leicestershire have been torn apart in this power play.
Looks like a plan that they've spoken about and they've executed
which he had
really well, especially to Lily. A few quicker balls and a couple of knuckle balls, this one perfect.
Alex Sales, and Leicestershire have been torn apart in this power play.
Looks like a plan that they've spoken about and they've executed
which he had
really well, especially to Lily. A few quicker balls and a couple of knuckle balls, this one perfect.
who will go to Birmingham for the final place of 4. Full toss is swung away, it's only 1. Oh, they'll get 2, it's a miss.
और ऑफ ही जनाब वाला बैठे हैं, ये आपके सामने ही बैठे हैं। मैंने कहा आपके सामने ही है, हमने तसव्वुरात की दुनिया में आपके सामने है। और सुनाए। ले लीजिए, कल ले ली बिल्कुल। ये मिली जी 2000 रुपये। सर इस दफ़ा हाथ लगाने की बहुत मुसीबत पड़ी है। जो हाथ लगाए थे, जिस चीज़ को हाथ लगाए तो वो चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा आ गया। बस क्या कहें, ज़ुहैब साहब के शौक महंगे हैं। वो कहते हैं जी, ज़ुहैब साहब कहते हैं जी एक दफ़ा ही लो जो लो। ज़ुहैब साहब कहते हैं जी एक दफ़ा लो, अच्छी वाली लो। मैंने कहा ठीक है जी। बहुत ज़बरदस्त बात की, बिल्कुल बहुत उसूल की बात है। सही बात कह रहे हैं आप। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह जी, अल्लाह का शुक्र है, एहसान है, करम है जी। आजकल आपके साथ अभी तो बस चल रहा है जी। वो हो गया जी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। उसमें ये है कि अपने पास जो है ना वो 100 स्टोर आने वाला है इंशाल्लाह बहुत जल्द। इनकम तो है बिल्कुल। स्टोर असल में थोड़े से थे तो उस पर चलते रहे, वो अब ख़त्म हो गए। अब इंशाल्लाह स्टोर आने वाले हैं, क्योंकि दिसंबर में इसका होता है। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल इनकम है इसमें जी। मैं आपको आधे घंटे में फ़ोन करूं? मैं ज़रा अम्मी को वहाँ करा लूँ ज़रा। मैं कभी करता हूँ, आपको तफसील बताता हूँ सारी इसके बारे में। रेजोल्यूशन कहाँ कर गई? कैन ओनली एक्टिव प्लेस